But tell us about the new series.
Yes. Well, I'm doing a new series of something. Whether or not I'm allowed to talk about it, I don't know, contractually. But on Saturday, I'm getting on a plane to Ireland, and it begins with Game and ends in Thrones, and it's series 4 of that. So, yeah, lots of dirt and pig shit and, you know.
Freezing weather.
Great. I mean, I'm a big fan of Game of Thrones. I wanted to be in it so desperately. I was in season 3 like 2 seconds. Yeah, really looking forward to going back to possibly doing it.
Charlie Day has said previously that his character in Pacific Rim might become a villain in a sequel.
Sure.
So I was wondering if you had talked to Del Toro about what your character would be doing in the sequel, and if you'd be following Newt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't honestly know. I know that Guillermo is a genius, and he has a whole, him and Travis have got this whole world completely sorted out. It wouldn't surprise me if he's already written the sequel, and I know that if it does go to a sequel, that I would probably be involved, I would hope, but I don't know. I'm in touch with Guillermo. I'm going to do his next film, Crimson Peak, which is the sort of gothic horror thing he's doing. I'm just doing a small cameo in that because I want to work with him again. He's just an absolute dream to work with. So yeah, I can't tell you much more than that. I don't know.
Quick follow-up, what was it like working with Charlie Day so closely?
Yeah, Charlie's awesome. He's such fun to work with. But obviously, because he's been doing It's Always Sunny, it's now, was it series 9? You know, he's very willing and open to try different things and very flexible. In fact, we enjoyed working together so much, he's got me in on this season of Sunny. He just sort of phoned me up one day and said, there's this character, he's a bit like the character in Pacific Rim, do you want to play it? And I'm like, yeah, of course. So it's a kind of Newt and Gottlieb back together again, but on It's Always Sunny. It's great.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
I saw a couple articles written by actual scientists who were so pleased with the portrayal of your 2 characters in Pacific Rim about the scientists weren't the cause of all of the evil and they were treated with respect. Have you gotten like fan letters or things of that nature since then? With people like, thank you for giving us, you know,
I
good
don't
press.
know. I mean, I think people tend to avoid me. I think it's because I look like I've, you know, robbed your house or something. But no, I've had nothing but good feedback. It was a very particular choice. I try and always, you know, as John Cassavetes said, an artist's responsibility is to dare to fail. And I thought that I would just give it 100%, whether or not that was the right level to do it. But in the scheme of what I was involved in, this homage to mecha and anime, and you know, I thought that was the right choice to do. And also being able to work with Charlie, Guillermo was quite specific about what he wanted, the characters. So, you know, you kind of do what you're told. But yeah, I mean, look, if anyone involved in the world of science thought that we gave, you know, even an iota of credibility to the story, then that's great news.
As far as I know, even though the special hasn't aired yet, Torchwood isn't involved with the Doctor Who 50th anniversary, unless they're keeping some secret from us.
Sure.
So I was wondering what you would have liked the Torchwood team to have, you know, done in the 50th anniversary. How would you have liked them to be a part of it, if they could like bring you guys back, you know, put the band back together, so to speak?
It's so complex. I certainly wouldn't be in it, and you know, because the different tones between the shows. However, I do think and hope that Jack Wood should be in it. I think that he was in the new Who, very important character. And I know that there's an argument that there are equally important characters from the old canon, but in terms of celebrating it, you know, 2013, 50th anniversary, I would love to see Captain Jack referenced, if not Torchwood. And that's all that I know, really. I know absolutely nothing about it, and I can't wait, you know, as a fan, I can't wait to see it. And I know that the team will come up with something amazing. But yeah, fingers crossed, really. You know, I know as much as you, I'm afraid.
As a fan, what do you think of the 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi?
Awesome. Fantastic actor. Very, very, very good actor. Oscar winner. You know, but also he's got massive range, you know, and he brings a gravitas to everything he does. The fact that he was in Torchwood and Who at first, I thought, interesting. But yeah, he's a fantastic actor, and I think he'll bring a lot to the role. Looking forward to watching him.
Along the same lines, as somebody who's worked in Torchwood, and your name actually came up on one of the lists of people for the 12th Doctor.
Yeah. No.
Which was interesting. I'm curious.
Never gonna happen.
I'm curious to know what you think are the qualities that make somebody a good Doctor.
For me, it's the mercurial nature. I mean, recently, in terms of Chris, David, and Matt, they have an unknown quality, and it's almost a sort of dangerous quality that you never know what they're going to do next. Obviously, the Doctor has to be an old soul, and I think that, you know, all the actors who've played them have brought that. But particularly in the New Who, there's been a dangerous quality to it, which he has to have. That you can turn on a sixpence, and you just don't know where you are with him. And I think all credit to those actors for doing that. Yeah.
Do you know if they're ever going to get a Pacific Rim action figure of your character?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, no doubt. We were certainly, you know, computerized for them and stuff. So I would hope something would come along.
Your son play with them?
Yeah, well, this is it. I mean, I keep going. I know, you know, NECA have done these incredible, these incredible figures, mainly of the robots at the moment, and now they're starting to do kaiju. But yeah, obviously, I would love that.
You brought up Game of Thrones earlier.
Yeah.
And the land beyond the wall, as we can see, is pretty treacherous. But I was wondering how it was like to work in that environment for you and for everyone else. Yeah,
well, I was in Ireland, and obviously it's just where all my family are from, so I love working there. But there was an inordinate amount of pig shit in the scenes that I was doing. There was lots and lots of pigs. And there was lots of references in those particular scenes. I know Dolores Ed and, you know, a few of the others sort of had to shovel shit and stuff like that. So it just kind of collected up to your knees, you know. And they've all got used to it, but me at first, for me, it was yeah, an interesting work environment. But obviously they're so talented, that whole lot. It was a dream come true to work on it as a fan.
So you've had the chance to work on a lot of really big and interesting and exciting franchises.
Sure.
What is there out there that you haven't had a chance to yet that you'd like to be involved with?
Well, the big one for me is obviously what Mr. Abrams is up to at the moment. You know, who knows what's going to happen with that? But that was sort of my entry into sci-fi, as it were, as a kid. So I'm really excited to see what happens with Star Wars. But I do try and choose work that I would love to be involved in. And I'm not too bothered about the size of the part. I like working with the creative minds behind something that I love. And I've been very lucky to do that. But yeah, I'd love to do some more animation. I'd like to do voices for animation, but at the moment, I'm just having the time of my life. Really, I count myself lucky for every job that comes along, you know, and appreciate that I'm working as so many actors aren't. So yeah, long may it continue.
Speaking of which, if you look at your IMDb page, it looks like you're working a ton last year, this year, and then a ton next year as well of projects that you're involved with.
Sure.
So are you eating or sleeping?
Yeah, it's funny though, isn't it? It comes up on IMDb and it might be a year old. So looks can be deceiving.
Okay.
I get lots of time at home.
Okay.
It's fine.
Ianto Jones was the one that was supposed to die, and it was changed very last minute.
Yeah.
How surprised were you to find out that you were the dead one?
It was pretty fluid, to be honest. You've got to remember that Julie Gardner as producer and Russell T at the time, such a great working atmosphere because they would just throw you curveballs and they would change scripts around, but they, you know, they always gave you a great storyline, which is what was important. The thing about Torchwood is that it was undescribable. It was this thing which was messy and kind of awkward and sexual and you know, it didn't fit in any box, and we were kind of in this corner of, well, we were in Cardiff, we were in Wales, filming it. We sort of got left alone, you know, so it felt like a bit of an experiment, and I just rolled with the punches. When you've got a writer as good as Russell T and Chris Chibnall and the other writers involved, you just roll with it and try and give it the best you can, you know. But yeah, no, it was great. I love the development of Yanto. In fact, Gareth's here today. I can't wait to see him. I thought he just brought such skill to that particular role, which is, you know, could be a very, very underwritten role, and he really developed it into the brilliant character that we all love in this, you know.